Welcome to the Miami Sports Vibes podcast YouTube channel with my boy Jacoby, as always, here on Tuesdays. Jacoby, how's it going, man? A bit of a circumstance, a bit of a situation, a bit of whatever you want to call it, man. Just not the way we expected to be here on this Tuesday. How you doing?
I'm doing all right, man. I mean, after spending the first 3 weeks just with the biggest highs in the world with the Dolphins, dude, and I think we all saw it coming at one point. Just didn't think it was going to be this week, but it's been tough. But we got to start looking forward. But I'm ready to unwrap everything that happened this weekend because I got a lot to say about it.
Listen, I can't wait to hear what you got to say because I'm still processing it, man. Like I really, you and I both thought, this was going to be the year we go ahead and get Buffalo twice. This was going to be the year that we go to Buffalo and win for the first time in a couple of years. And listen, like Buffalo just handed it to us, and they handed it to us with this swagger, with the, we talked about it before the stream. Josh Allen hitting the pose. You saw Javon Holland get stiff armed by, I think it was Dawson Knox. Like they were out there talking heavy shit, and we got our asses kicked, man. Like what do you have to say? Like, how are you feeling now after this is processed, man?
The one thing I said last week, I said win or lose, it's not going to derail anything, but they cannot go up there and get their asses kicked, and that's exactly what they did. It was very competitive through the first quarter. It was tied up at 14, and it looked like it was going to be whoever got the first stop was going to win the game. And sure enough, Buffalo did get the first stop and pretty much ran away from it from there. The defense never showed up from the opening kick to the end of the game. There was not one sequence that I was happy with, maybe a couple there and there, but at the same time, it was just absolutely pathetic. And there's no other way to say it. And, I've had games against the Bills where I've just sat back and be like, yeah, like we're rebuilding, or we're missing this guy. We don't have Tua or stuff like that. But I just sat back after this game like there's nothing I can really say. They simply just went in there and got the shit kicked out of them. So it was a tough one, and there's a lot to talk about because the schedule may look easy the next 2 weeks, but I don't think you can sit here and say this game's going to be an easy one with this defense. It's very concerning.
No, I don't think it's going to be an easy one at all, man. I mean, the Giants are a team that's obviously not in the same level as us as far as talent. But, when a team is due, a team is due. And the way that we just came out of this game this past Sunday, you just never know. That's why you play the games any given Sunday. But I like what you said there, because you said usually we have something to say, right? All right, somebody's missing. Somebody's out. All right, it's not Tua. We got Skyler. Hey, we don't have Teron Armstead out here. Oh, Jalen Waddle's a little hobbled up. No, like everybody that we pretty much needed was healthy with the exception of Jalen Phillips. Now, I know that's a big part of the defense, but we pretty much got manhandled, man. You saw the offensive line. Me and you spoke about it. I said, hey, I really want to see this offensive line perform against the Buffalo Bills. Yes, they had a good start to the season. They only gave up 1 sack. Tua's looking pretty much clean throughout the season so far. I said, this is who I want to see them match up against. And they looked completely terrible. Connor Williams being out, that was huge, no doubt about it. You had Liam out there at center playing like complete garbage. Yeah, Teron Armstead went down with an injury, but the line as a whole before all of that, they just looked terrible. What are your thoughts about the offensive line?
I thought the line had a decent start.
Yeah.
I didn't think they looked terrible in the first quarter, but Buffalo did what they did best. They put pressure on the Dolphins when it mattered most in key plays, and sure enough, on those third downs or a couple of, I think it was a fourth down too, but they brought the pressure and they got to them right away. Tua had no time to throw or even make a read, so it was pretty disappointing. And the poor performance from Liam Eichenberg ended up resulting in Teron Armstead getting hurt long term. He's going to be out a few weeks, and I don't want to pin that fully on Liam Eichenberg because Teron Armstead just cannot stay healthy. But you can't just come in. You got to be ready. You can't just come in and get your ass handed to you, man. It simply looked like JV versus varsity out there, dude. I hate to say it, and maybe this team needed a reality check. Maybe they needed to be humbled, but I think the team was handling themselves pretty well through the first 3 weeks of the season, not getting too ahead of themselves. But Buffalo just reminded everyone, they're still there. You know, they run that division right now, and you can't say anything about it until we change it. So,
Yeah.
pretty disappointing.
Yeah,
Disappointing.
no, definitely. I think it, and that's the part that sucks. Usually you say, we'll get them again, but I mean, we're not seeing them all the way till the end of the freaking season. So this loss right here is gonna sting. This loss right here is gonna be tough to get over. But you got a whole NFL season. It is one loss. Obviously, you can look at the positives, but we want to get there. We want to get to Buffalo. So obviously, it means a lot to us. Real passionate Dolphin fans. A lot of other people. Casual fans. Hey, it's just one loss. No, no, no. Like, you want to beat those guys there. It means that much. Looking at the game, obviously, I thought Devon Achane played a good game. He finished with 101 yards and 8 carries. I thought he was probably the best person that I saw, the only, light that I saw in the offense. But what are your takeaways in this game, man? What are your overall thoughts? Where do you feel like we lost this game at? What do you want to see? What do you want to see going forward?
Well, I think it's safe to say, if anyone who watches this show every week, you know that I'm the biggest skeptical Mike McDaniel fan. I said it from the start. I'm not completely sold on him. I like what he's brought to the team. I love what he's done for Tua, but I bring up the negatives, and I think his negatives really outweigh his positives. So, I think the Mike McDaniel that I've been fearing definitely showed up this game, completely abandoned the run game again for a second time in Buffalo in 2 years. Unfortunately, last time in Buffalo, he abandoned it when it was a close game, but I feel like if he would have stuck with it in the first half, the speed of Achane and Mostert, I feel like is not the same as any other run game. I think it's just as good as passing when they get these huge plays like they've been getting all season long so far. And Achane had 104 yards on 8 carries, averaging about 12 yards a carry. I don't know how you go away from that. Like, I just don't understand it whatsoever. And it was working. It was completely working. And I have a tweet that I want you to show up again. You can either show it now, but yeah, right here. Tyreek Hill says the Bills hit the Dolphins with a lot of cover too. He said running the ball against the defense could have opened things up in the passing game. What, like, oh my goodness, like, it's just so frustrating because Mike McDaniel abandons what's working all the time and just tries to get the passing game up when teams have a good game plan against it. If you continue to run the ball and show that they're not going to be able to stop it, they have to switch something up on defense. You got to mix it in. You got to learn how to mix in your plays that way that both passing and running game are a threat. But no, Buffalo knew exactly what they were running. They were reading Tua like a book, and they did not let up whatsoever. They had an interception on him, a couple of almost interceptions, but I don't think Tua had a bad game necessarily. But it's just the Mike McDaniel I've been fearing, man. It showed up, and I'm going to be skeptical from here on out. But the defense is a whole other story. But I'm going to let you respond to that real quick.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, you nailed it right on the head, man, with Mike McDaniel. It's like we wanted to see what was going to happen, when we're down for a long period of time, right? Obviously, in the Chargers game, you're going back and forth. You're not really down that much. We wanted to see, all right, when push comes to shove, like when you got to punt that ball twice, what are you going to do? When the team scores, now you're down 2 possessions, you're down 10, you're down 14. What are you going to do? And I wanted to see what Mike McDaniel was going to do. When the pressure is hot, when it's the way it was. And I didn't like his adjustments at all. I thought he made 0 adjustments. I thought he got out coached again. I thought he abandoned the run game. I just don't understand it. When you have 101 yards for 8 carries, like how do you not give that guy like 15 touches at least? I just don't understand it. And it was working. And then Tyreek Hill saying that after the game, talking about them playing cover 2. I mean, you got to see it as a coach as well. Like the deep ball was not available there, bro. The running game was working. And I strongly think like the game probably couldn't have gone away that fast if you stuck to the running game. I really believe that. And then you told me to talk about the defense. I mean, my goodness. Come on now, 48 points to the Buffalo Bills. At one point, I thought they could get 70. To be honest, I went at one point in the game. I said, "Holy shit, this would suck if this damn team scores 70 on us after we just scored 70." And I think they let up. I think
they absolutely did.
They could have got at least 2 more touchdowns in there, man. Like they were kicking our ass, bro. Like everything. You're talking from a pressure standpoint, that was non-existent. I mean, Andrew Van Ginkel was the only guy that got a couple sacks, but we couldn't get home at all. I mean, Bradley Chubb, my guy, like I defend you all the damn time, but shit, like show the fuck up, man. Like he's playing terrible. He's playing terrible, man. And I keep backing him. Like I need him to get into a groove, but this is where I have to hold you accountable because this is the rival team. This is the big game. This is a huge game. This is circled on the calendar. Javon Holland, who's been awesome. I mean, this defense is basically they run it through him, which I understand. He didn't even have a good game. Now I love Javon Holland, but I gotta call it like I see it. And a Kohu, I mean, goddamn, it's like he's getting bodied out there. I get it. A lot of people rather have him in the nickel. Whatever it is, he's getting torched out there. Stephon Diggs tore us the hell up. I said here on this podcast last week, I said Stephon Diggs always eats us up. It doesn't matter who he's against. Kohu X doesn't matter. This time he gave me 3 touchdowns. I said we got to watch out for the tight ends. The tight ends killed us. Freaking rookie tight end is even getting into the mix. Dawson Knox out here stiff arming people. Like, god damn. I mean, this is just terrible, man. It's terrible. The linebackers are bad. The pressure is bad. You know, Christian Wilkins, like he wants that money. I don't think I'm comfortable paying him right now. You know, Jalen Phillips, I love Jalen Phillips, but damn, you missed this game. That sucks. Bradley Chubb, you're getting paid all this money. That it's just linebackers and pressure. It's terrible. The coverage is terrible. I don't know. And I feel bad for Fangio. A lot of people are saying, oh, you should fire Fangio. I think that's just absurd. I mean, look at the talent that he's being dealt with, right? He has only added one player that he wanted. You know, usually you got to give a defensive coordinator time to get his guys in, lay it all out. All he's got one guy that he wanted, and that's Jalen Ramsey, and he hasn't even played a game yet. So everyone's saying fire Fangio. I don't think that's the case. I think this is just solely talent. But what do you think about the defense, man?
Well, I'm going to pick up right where you left off right there. Like there's no arguing the level of talent that Fangio brings to this defense. He's a top 5 defensive mind in the league. And if you argue that, you don't know football. So and those of you that think that that Fangio needs to be fired, I want you to go look back at that 50-yard touchdown that Diggs had where Kohu left him wide the fuck open, wrapped him up for at least 3 seconds and couldn't bring him down. And then Brandon Jones comes in and pushes Kohu off of him. How is that on the defensive coordinator? That, Nando, that was probably the most pathetic sequence I've ever seen, not just in a Dolphin standpoint, but in a football standpoint. That right there, that play and Mostert's fumble in the first half were the 2 turning points in this game. Mostert doesn't fumble. Maybe we get a field goal or a touchdown out of it. The Dolphins were moving the ball really well in the first 2 quarters.
Oh, yeah.
But once they got away, it just fell apart. And the touchdown on Diggs, it was just demoralizing from there. So you take away those 2 plays, you know, who knows what we're talking about. But, you know, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, that's why we lost. No, like they straight up got bitched out there. So, you know, the defensive line, like I'm not the type of person that's going to jump ship in week 4. Still a long season to go. Got 2 really winnable games that we can get back on track, but the Dolphins have a serious problem with the defense.
Yeah.
You know, I'm Jalen Phillips has been getting banged up, has been having the worst luck so far in the start of the season. You know, everything with Christian Wilkins, he was getting bullied out there by a rookie. So that was embarrassing. And Bradley Chubb's getting pushed into outer space. Like he's getting pushed 10, 20 yards away from the play. It's completely ridiculous. And, you know, we paid Bradley Chubb. We paid Jerome Baker. We paid Teron Armstead. And these guys just either they can't stay healthy or they straight up can't perform. So, you know, the Dolphins have a really concerning issue that needs to be addressed. And if they want to compete this year, some changes need to be made at the deadline because, you know, I don't care if we're 12-4 and all those losses are to the Chiefs, Eagles, and Bills. I'm going to be pissed because that just shows we can't compete against the real teams. So that's my take on the defense. We got a real issue, and I don't think Fangio is the issue at all. Like if you think so, yeah. I mean, that's just wild to me. But I will give him the whole Kohu on Diggs all game thing was pretty bizarre. But
yeah,
you know, Xavier Howard was doing his job. I don't think they threw. I did not hear Xavier Howard's name the entire game. Allen threw to Kohu every possession, and it torched us. So
Yeah, that's what.
that's my take on the defense.
No,
A lot
yeah,
needs to be fixed.
yeah, for
And
sure.
yeah.
No, for sure. A lot definitely needs to be fixed, man. And a lot of the Fangio stuff. It's like, yo, listen, man. Like he's not even playing with the guys he asked for, and he always kept it real even before the season. I'm gonna pull this up. This is a quote from him. He said, "We have some good talents at some positions. We need to find guys that are able to play good and execute at all 11 positions. We're working together to get that done," said Fangio, whom the Dolphins made the highest paid defensive coordinator. He says, "We're not a finished product by any means, but we're working to get that done." Like he literally is after practice, he's saying this like straight up. Like we need to find guys that are able to play good and execute. Like he's basically keeping it 100 with all Dolphin fans. This is like you're mid training camp. You're almost at the start of the season at this point, and he's saying this. Like he's literally calling out his players, letting them know that they're not playing up to his skill set, like the skill set that they need. And he's kept it 100, so I'm not gonna fault him for that. I think he's dealt with a whole bunch of under. I mean, it's like there's a lot of people are high paid here, but it's not the talent that he likes. He doesn't like it, and he's trying to do the best that he can with what he has, and he's trying to mix things up, do things differently, try new things here and there, trying to elevate somebody, trying to find something like, oh wow, I didn't know he could be good at that. Let's try that. And I don't blame Fangio for that at all. But Christian Wilkins, man, 2 tackles. Bradley Chubb, 2 tackles. Van Ginkel, like I said, the only one that had 2 sacks. He had 3 tackles for a loss. I thought he was probably the only good guy.
And let's not forget, Fangio said that Van Ginkel was one of the only players he reached out to in free agency that he wanted to come back. And is it a coincidence that he's the only one performing so far? Like,
yeah,
trust me, Fangio knows what he's doing. Like,
yeah,
and I don't doubt that at all.
Yeah, I believe in Fangio. Are you ready to put this game behind us? Are you ready to move on to the Giants, or are you gonna hold on to this one a little bit longer?
I mean, I kind of moved on from it yesterday. I mean, I haven't watched a single media thing about it because Miami's going to get all the hate in the world, and they are already. I don't care. It is what it is. But like, if we can't say this game isn't going to leave a sour taste in our mouth for the rest of the season, it's gonna. And I hope it's even worse for the players. So
yeah.
The players need to respond. And, we saw what the Giants did yesterday. We saw they got sacked 11 times.
Mm-hmm.
A win is not simply just a straight up win is not going to cut it for me this week. I'm going to hold this week's game to a lot of standards, and I'll get into that in a little bit.
Yeah. Hold on there. I want to get past Buffalo, but I just want to say anybody who doesn't value offensive linemen, who think it doesn't matter, all of this stuff, and thinks centers don't matter. I mean, look at the shit that we had on display on Sunday. That is Liam Eichenberg. What the hell is that? I mean, you can't make this shit up. Like, look at this guy. This is what we have to deal with. And we traded up to get this guy, but that I just wanted to leave that there. Have us laugh on the way out of Buffalo. Let's shift things on over to Giants week. We're back at home. We're 11-point favorites. Everybody's favoring us. They say we're going to win big time. That to me scares me. I'm not used to it, but we're on to the Giants week. Here it is. The Giants look bad. That game yesterday, Daniel Jones looks bad. I know you love to talk down on Daniel Jones. They look a mess out there. Dable looks like he's getting into it, and they just paid Daniel Jones so much damn money. This is crazy. How are you feeling about this Giants game, and what are your keys to victory to taking down the New York Giants?
No, I feel pretty good. I think the Miami offense is going to continue to roll. I don't think the Dolphins were stifled on offense. Tua still had a good game rushing, and we still put up almost 400 yards on the Bills. So, I mean, I still think that the offense is going to come out rolling. I don't doubt that at all. But, like I told you, man, there's going to be a straight up win's not going to cut it for me. But getting into my keys, I think my first key, I'm going to give these keys based off if Saquon Barkley is going to play. I think he is going to play. So my first one is going to be containing Barkley. Jeff Cook had at least 2 to 3 rushes where he was just the offensive line just took our D line to town, and there was just a wide open hole for him to go. You got to contain Barkley. He is a sole difference maker for the New York Giants. He's had a hot start to the season, but then he got hurt. I expect him to come back this week. He made a lot of progress next week. I don't expect there to be much of a limit, but he's a big difference maker for the Giants. So you got to contain Barkley. My second one is it's going to be on the center. Snap the freaking ball, like good snaps. Stop getting these horrible snaps that Tua has to pick up on the floor, and the play gets blown up immediately. Okay, the O-line needs to be on the top of their game this week. You're going to be without Armstead, which I'm not as worried about as much as having Liam Eichenberg out there. I hope Connor Williams is out there. So if he is, the O-line needs to be on the top of their game. Get the ball to Tua, protect him. He took a lot of sacks that I really didn't want to see last week. So protect Tua and just be on top of your game online. And the second one is defense. Turnovers. That is my third key. You got to force turnovers in this game. You have to make a statement on the defensive end this week. You got to earn the respect back. You got, like, I'm telling you right now, even if the Dolphins win and the Giants have a good offensive game, you're not going to hear the end of it after what they just did against Seattle. Seattle has a great defense. They have a great rookie and Weatherspoon over there. So, you got to make a statement on the defensive end this week. I need to see at least 2 turnovers, a lot of sacks, pressure on Daniel Jones. Those are my keys of the game. Like if the defense doesn't have a good game and we still win, I'm still going to treat it as a loss, to be honest with you.
Yeah, no, I think you're onto something there. I think that's exactly how we should hold this team. You got to hold this team accountable. If we're out here going to say that we're contenders, that we think we're going to win the division, that we should be talked about as like the top of the AFC, then we're going to hold them to this standard. And I'm with you on that. I don't think I'm not okay with the 7-point victory here. I'm not okay with a 3-point victory. Like I need to win by a good chunk here, a good double digits at the bare minimum. But like I'm talking 2 touchdowns or more. That's definitely the bar. Like I want to set it there. Keys to victory, I think you're spot on with that. I'm going to assume that Saquon Barkley's playing as well, and I think that you're up to something there with that number 1 key to victory for sure. Contain Saquon Barkley. That dude is a difference maker. I mean, I'm not too pleased with the way our run defense is, even though, we've had some good games, had some terrible games, but listen, Saquon Barkley is the truth. Like Saquon Barkley is that guy. Like he can body people. You're getting stiff armed by Dawson Knox, then this boy's gonna stiff arm you too, man. So
absolutely,
you got to get ready for that. Barkley is one of them ones, man. He really is. So definitely containing him, and also containing Daniel Jones as well. He's gonna get out there. He's gonna run. I don't think his passing ability, the coach doesn't trust him at this point. He's gonna get out there and run. It's bound to happen. Dolphins give up a lot of yards to the quarterback, so containing the run game for sure. So Barkley, containing Daniel Jones. I'm not worried about the pass game at all, even though we can't guard tight ends, and Darren Waller is a beast as a tight end, but I just don't trust Daniel Jones getting him the ball. So
I hope not.
And then third is just defense, man. Like my offense isn't even a key. Like the offense should do what they're supposed to do against the New York Giants. If you don't, that's ridiculous. I mean, the Seahawks scored 24 on the Giants. The 49ers with Brock Purdy put up a bunch of points against them. The Cowboys with Dak Prescott looking terrible scored 40. Even though his defense got a couple in there. Like the point is the offense should explode this game. They should. But I want to see the defense ball the hell out. You're going against a team that just that just got sacked 11 times on Monday Night Football yesterday. 11 times. 11. That offensive line in New York, Zell's a Giant fan. Yeah. He thinks that our line is better. I disagree, but I understand the argument. Pretty much we both have trash offensive lines. But their offensive line is bad. And we cannot get home on the quarterback. We cannot get sacks to save our life. Like this there should be no reason why we don't at least have 5 sacks. And that's setting the bar very low. Their offensive line is so bad. I want to see some sacks. I want to see some momentum for this defense. This defense needs a get-right game. I want to see a lot from them. I think the offense is going to have no problem here. But defense got to make a freaking statement, man.
They really do. And I think it's crucial they make a statement because, like, if I'm a coach too, if I don't get the defensive game I want out of this game, I'm going to make sure they hear it. So I think the pressure is on them, and I think they know that they need to come out and make this statement. So that would be awesome. Chubb getting 12 sacks, that would be amazing. Khalil Mack got 6,
that
so
was
why can't one of us just do this? So
he sure did.
it's just like I'm telling you, the Dolphins can win this game, and I'll still be pissed. Like that, this is gonna be one of those games where even if they win this game, I'll still be freaking upset if I don't get the defensive game I want. Just like the Bears game last year, I was so pissed after that win. Like that was the most frustrating win I had in a while, and I think this game has the potential to outdo that game. But I'm not going to give the defense any credit. They need to earn it from me right now. So that's just me right now.
Yeah, no, I think it's rightfully so. I was not happy with that Bears one last year, and even the Lions one, to be honest. Just the fact that we were down by that much in the first half, even though Tua played awesome, no doubt.
Yeah,
It's just like you expect to beat a lot of these teams by more. You don't expect to just squeak away with a Bears win and a Lions win back then. Now the Lions are a different story now, but I felt the same way as you did with the Bears, bro.
Absolutely. No.
Uh,
We'll see. It's gonna be a good. Hopefully, it's a fun one, and we're celebrating a good defensive game. That's all I want to see.
Yeah, but it's essential to win this game. It's essential to win this game and win it big. After you lost to Buffalo, you got to go. 4-1. You're 4-1. We feel good. We got Carolina the week after, which we'll take care of that later on, week by week. But this is a good. We're lucky. We're lucky that we get to play the Giants after that, and at home. But so those are your keys to victory. Those are my keys to victory. What about X factors, man? X factors. We didn't touch on the offense, both of us. So let's start with offense. Who is your X factor on offense for you?
I'm gonna say, you know what? Give me Jalen Waddle this game. I think he is so due for a big game, and he had a touchdown taken away from him this week.
Yep.
He hasn't had the breakout game we've been looking for. I'm going to give it to him to have the best game on offense this week. I think the offense is going to have an amazing game. So I think it's going to be an all around team effort, but give me Jalen Waddle for my X factor. I think he'll make a statement this week. It's about time he does.
I like that. I've been waiting for him. He hasn't scored a touchdown yet. I feel like he's going to get into the end zone this weekend. I can see it happening. For me, I'm going to go with I'm going to go with the Rook, man. McDaniel did not, he left some carries there for him, and I hope he freaking owes him that, man. Give this guy at least minimum 15 freaking touches. Devon Achane with 108 yards last week on 8 carries, 2 touchdowns. This guy has 6 touchdowns already in 2 games. Like, the dude is a stud. Let him flourish. Let him blossom. Let's see what he's got. I mean, the fans see it. Let him have it, man. Open up the door for him, man. Kenneth Walker had a touchdown and 79 yards yesterday against the New York Giants defense. They give up yards whichever way. It doesn't matter. Let this rookie get into a groove, man. And then
I think he will. I really think he will.
And it'll open up the pass game, man. It'll open things up for Jalen Waddle, for Tyreek Hill, for all these other guys. The other guys, most importantly, like Berrios and all that. Let this young boy cook, man. He's shown flashes, and he's shown that he deserves it.
Absolutely. And I'm hoping he's the starting back going into this game. I hope he's getting all the RB1 touches this week, because Mostert had a really bad fumble problem last week. So I need to see our start, because I think we found our running back. So you know what? Get him in there, make him the RB1, give him all the confidence in the world, and let's just see it. But I'm excited to see him for sure.
Yeah, we've been dying for a damn running back too. It feels good to finally have him, but hopefully just give him the keys, man. Feed him.
I hope so too, man. I really do.
What about your X factor on defense?
You know what? I'm gonna leave it to the leader, Christian Wilkins. You need to come out and make a damn statement. You got absolutely bullied by a rookie last week. You talk all that shit and you got your ass handed to you You need to come in here and make a goddamn statement, and you show them that last week was just a bad day for the entire defense. Go in there, get a sack, maybe get a sack or 2 and get some tackles, but get in there and make a statement. That's gonna be my X factor.
I like it. I'm gonna hold somebody else accountable, and that's the guy that I've been on, Bradley Chubb, man.
Yep.
If I'm gonna be rooting for you, I'm gonna be super critical of you as well, man. You've been playing
he's the
like
one
shit.
Actually getting paid right now too.
Yes, exactly. You've been getting paid top dollar, and you're playing like shit, my man. Like, you really are, and I support the hell out of you. but you're playing like shit. And I'm gonna call, like I said, I hope you watch this, man. Maybe it motivates you.
Yep.
You're the X factor. You need to show up because you got straight up bodied against Buffalo, and you've been getting bodied ever since you've been in the Miami Dolphins uniform. So make these other people shut up. This is why they talk about you, man, because you're getting paid top dollar. You've already had the off season. That there's no excuse. I've made every excuse for you, my man. Can you just please show the hell up and have yourself a big game? Bradley Chubb, X factor. Like I said, Seahawks sacked the Giants 11 times. You're gonna tell me you can't get in there at least 3 by yourself? Come on, man.
Yep.
Bradley Chubb, you're the X factor.
Yep. Last time you made him your X factor, he had a huge game against New England. So let's see it.
Let's go.
Let's see it.
All right, so let's go with scoring predictions, man. How do you have the Dolphins shaping out on this one?
Okay, so I got offense going off to a hot start, and I'm not gonna lie. I think the defense gets shaky in the first quarter. I think we're not gonna be pleased in the first, but I'm going to give them all the praise here. I'm gonna give them a good prediction. I'm gonna say Miami wins this one 34-14. I think it's gonna be a good blowout for the Dolphins.
Damn, I like it. I would be absolutely pleased with that. That would be great.
Absolutely.
I have not the Giants, the Dolphins winning this game. Dolphins winning this game actually 31-17. I want to see our defense, I wish I could say they could hold them to 14 or 10, but I'm gonna give them a little field goal in there. 31-17. I think the Dolphins win this game. I think they have to make a statement. They have to win by a lot. They have to win by multiple touchdowns. Giants win this game 31-17, in my opinion. Sorry, Dolphins win this game 31-17. I keep saying that. It's like, what
are you saying?
It's like, damn, are they really trying to confuse me out here, man?
Yeah.
All right. Hopefully it doesn't happen. I say the Dolphins win this game pretty easily, though, man.
All right. Yeah, I hope so. Dude.
So let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes. We never know. That's why you play the games any given Sunday. But before we head into our fantasies talk, any last words on the Giants?
You mean the Dolphins?
No, the Giants matchup.
Oh,
well, that one I meant to say.
Nah, man. I mean, I pretty much said it right there. I need to see a huge defensive game. I need to see turnovers. I need to see sacks. I need to see plays. Like I said, a simple win is not gonna cut it for me. I will come into this show next week just as pissed off, even if we win and it's not a good defensive game, because that needs to be the priority right now.
Yeah, rightfully so. All right, well, hopefully they do that. We'll see how it goes, and let's shift things on over to fantasy football. So we're now in week 5 of the NFL season, which is crazy how fast it freaking goes. We're 4 weeks in. How your fantasy teams looking, man, through 4 weeks?
Yeah, the league I'm in with you, I put up 150 points this week. Christian McCaffrey gave me a good 40 something points, took the win in that one. My other league, was pretty mid for me, took another loss, but it's all good. I kind of hit it on a few of my stardom sit-ems from last week, so I feel confident with my picks this week. And what about you? How'd you do?
No, I lost in I'm in 3 leagues, and I lost in all 3, man. It was a pretty bad week for me, bro. Like really, really bad. Like I got my ass kicked. Then I went against Stephon Diggs in one. So there you go. Just piss me off.
That will do it.
But we're hanging in, man. We're ready for week 5. I'm curious to hear who you got on your stardom sit-ems for this week. You've been on the money with a couple of them, and I always like your feedback on these, bro. So how you feeling about the quarterback position?
Yeah, feeling pretty good. My 2 stardoms this week, finally had the game we've been waiting for this last week against the Broncos. My first stardom this week, I'm going to start Justin Fields again this week against the Commanders on Thursday. God, that matchup cannot be even worse for a Thursday night game. But got Commanders and Bears on Thursday. They're averaging about 18 points a game to quarterbacks, ranked 23rd in PPR leagues. Justin Fields finally went off last week, put up 27.9 points. So he's going to be my first stardom this week. And my second stardom is going to be Lamar Jackson. He's had a shaky start to the season, but now he's ranked 3rd in quarterbacks in the PPR leagues. Had a great game against the Browns. Put up 28.14 points, and now he's playing the Steelers, who are facing a lot of issues on the defensive end. So I'm going to throw him in there. I think he has a great game this week.
I like that. Yeah, that he did have a nice game. And I've been kind of waiting for when is Lamar gonna pop off? But hopefully that's good things in store for Lamar Jackson and the Steelers defense. Honestly, it surprised me how they played against the Houston Texans, but
Yep, it was
you know,
bad.
yeah, it was bad from the jump, man. So yeah, I think Lamar is in for something special. This is probably where he starts taking off because me and you kind of expected big things from Lamar this season.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I have him in my league as well, so I'm pumped to see him getting out there and putting up these points that we're used to seeing out of him. So it's gonna be a good matchup for him this week for sure.
So you think Fields is on to something Thursday night?
You know what I do? Like I don't think it's just the Bears are just a complete mess. But Fields has just had a very rough start to the season, and I really like his matchup this week against the Commanders. Their defense is kind of in shambles right now too. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I think he has another second consecutive game this week.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting one. Last year, these two teams played on Thursday night, and it was freaking terrible.
Yeah, I know. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to stick through that game. I don't know if I can make it. But what quarterbacks are you staying away from this week?
Yeah, and without a doubt, the matchup of the week, Niners and Cowboys. I'm going to sit Dak Prescott. Only put up 14 points against New England, and he only had 6 points against the Giants in week 1. I think San Francisco is going to humble the Cowboys this week, like everyone thinks they're gonna. So I'm gonna stay away from Dak. Any quarterback that plays against the Niners, I'm probably gonna sit them anyways. But I'm not liking Dak's matchup this week at all. And then going on after that, in London, Jaguars and Bills. I'm going to keep Trevor Lawrence on my bench. He's playing against the Bills right now, who, after last week, got their defense up to number 1 versus quarterbacks in PPR leagues, averaging only about 7.5 points. So I'm going to give Trevor Lawrence a rest week this week. I think the Bills will beat up the Jaguars pretty good, in my opinion. They're on a roll, but we'll see. We thought we were going to play better. So they had a blowout. We'll see how they do this week, but I'm going to stay away from Trevor Lawrence.
Interesting. And I have Dak Prescott, and there's no way in hell I'm gonna start him against the 49ers.
Man,
and
don't do it.
I'm out here so down bad. I'm even considering Zach Wilson against the Denver Broncos, bro.
No.
That's how freaking it's it. Listen, Daniel Jones, Zach Wilson, like those are my options.
Oh
bro.
my
It's
God.
terrible for me. It's terrible, man. What about Joe Burrow? Are you staying away from him now after this?
Man, I don't want to doubt the guy. It's just I've been a Joe Burrow guy the last couple of years, but I just think to myself, like, he's got to snap out of it at some point, man. It's just, I'm gonna give him. He has to have a good game against the Cardinals. If he doesn't, it's time to panic. So,
Yeah.
I mean, if you have him, I'd give him the start, but I'll definitely have some things to say about it next week for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I'd monitor this one, man. If this one goes bad, then it's a different story, man. What about your running backs, man? Who do you love this week?
Yeah, my first running back on the list is going to be Joe Mixon. I love the matchup against the Cardinals. They just could not stop Christian McCaffrey whatsoever last week, and they have had trouble stopping the run all season long so far. They're averaging, CMC's big game put them over 32 points averaging to running backs, and now they're ranked 30th. So give me Joe Mixon in this matchup. That will probably be Burrow's go-to guy. He's been doing a lot of checkdowns lately. Can't seem to find Jamar Chase open, so leave it to Mixon to probably have a pretty good game. So I love that matchup. And then give me David Montgomery. Oh my goodness, the Lions do not like taking the ball out of his hand, man. Even when they have Gibbs right there. David Montgomery with 34 points last week against the Green Bay, 121 yards, 32 carries his first game back. They do not like taking the ball out of his hands. Like I said, now they're going up against the Panthers, who are ranked 29th against running backs. So give me that matchup easily.
Love it, man. I love it. I have David Montgomery, and I benched him this weekend, and I lost, and I was so damn pissed, man. I think from here on out, though, I think Montgomery is pretty much a sure start, right? If you have him in your lineup.
Yeah, no, I think so. Yeah. Because for some reason they take Gibbs so early, but I guess they don't like him. I don't get the issue there. So
yeah, and
give me him for sure.
And Gibbs is talented too, but it's like, hey man, sometimes you go with the hot hand, I guess. And Montgomery don't look like he's slowing down one bit, man.
Not at all.
Which running backs are you staying away from this week?
Yeah, I'm staying away from the Patriots' overall offense right now, but it's specifically Ramondre Stevenson. God, they got manhandled against the Cowboys, and now they're going up against a similar
Terrible.
good defense against the run in New Orleans. And it's just, I think the Patriots are in some deeper shit than the Jets right now. Like they're just, I don't know where they go on offense right now. And Mac Jones got benched. Bill can say whatever he wants, but God, Jones played like crap. So I'm
Mhm.
gonna stay away from Ramondre this week.
Yeah, I think Ramon, like the way it looked, yeah, that whole Patriots offense kind of drives me like makes my stomach hurt a little bit, man.
No,
I'm
yeah,
I'm
for
glad
sure.
I'm glad I don't have any Patriots on any of my teams, man. Who's your second?
Yeah, my second is Miles Sanders going up against Detroit. Carolina's kind of in shambles right now too, and I expect the Lions to get a big lead, and it's going to resort to Carolina needing to pass more. So he had 13 carries, only 19 yards last week against the Vikings,
Yeah.
and they're only a few spots down from the Lions in terms of run defense. So stay away from Miles Sanders too.
Yep. I have him as my
God, I'm
flex.
picking all your players here. I
Yeah.
can't.
I have him and I'm like, damn, all right, I got a question for you, bro. This is in a league that you're not in with me, so you could give me
Yeah,
this
let's
advice.
do it.
Miles Sanders or Herbert, Chicago running back.
Damn. Do you have any other better choices?
No, that's literally that. Well,
Shit.
hold on, wait. Let me see if I put Nico here. Okay, I got an extra one. Miles Sanders, Herbert, or Tutu Atwell as a flex.
I think Tutu Atwell would be a safe flex because
Interesting.
he's a little underrated right there.
So yeah, so we're staying away from Miles Sanders. That's the point.
Yeah, I don't like him this week.
All right, fair enough. What about the wide receivers? This is where a lot of us get all our points from, man.
Yeah, wide receivers. Let's give a big tip to our hat to the Rams wide receiver Puka Nakua.
Oh
He's
man,
been tearing it up, and we haven't really heard if Cooper Cup's going to be practicing this week, coming off IR. I doubt he plays, but even if he does, I still going to roll with Nakua. I see Cup getting a little limit there, so if you got him, continue to play him. He's been on a absolute tear, and I think he's just going to continue that this week against Philadelphia. And my
who did
second guy, I think a little bit of you will probably be a little shocked, but I like the matchup against the Broncos and the rebound from Zach Wilson this week. Get Garrett Wilson back in your lineup if you haven't. The Jets looked a lot better against the Chiefs last week. I don't know if that's going to be continuing, if that was just a fluke from Zach Wilson, but Garrett Wilson probably definitely had a little bit of a bounce back. 14 targets on 9 receptions, and for 15 points. So I like the matchup against the Broncos. I'll roll with Garrett Wilson this week.
I like it, man. I thought Zach showed some flashes, man. Obviously, I don't think Zach is that good of a quarterback, but you need to see a guy have a little bit of something to lean forward to, something to look back to give himself
Yep.
confidence, because we care about targets when it comes to fantasy. So if he looks at the tape, he saw that he was able to do some good things. He's going to look to Garrett Wilson again, and Garrett Wilson should have a nice day against a terrible Broncos defense. I agree with that.
Absolutely.
All right. So
Yep.
who are you staying away from?
Yeah, I'm going to stay away from Debo Samuel again this week. I think I
Yeah.
said to him last week for
Yep.
too, and he put up 0.6 points against the Cardinals, and now they're going up against an even better defense against the Cowboys. So I'm going to stay away from Debo. I don't like the matchup at all, and I also don't like Jerry Jeudy this week. They're going up against a really good Jets defense. They continue to keep shocking everybody in their defensive play. So I'm going to stay away from Jerry Jeudy as well.
All right, I think that's good. I mean, Jerry, I don't want anybody in that Broncos offense, bro. I just don't like. I don't.
It's
Please,
understandable.
yeah, I'm not down. You said Jerry Jeudy and who?
And Debo Samuel.
Yeah, and Debo Samuel again, and that's crazy. You did say that last week, bro. You haven't been Debo hasn't really caught your eye much. I see.
No, I just fantasy wise, Debo's just very tough.
Yeah,
He'll have these big games, but then he'll have a few weeks where he's just barely getting involved because the Niners are so dominant in all their other positions. They don't need to get him involved every week. Like I would love Debo Samuel on my team, but fantasy wise, it's always just a toss up in the air for me.
yeah, and that's pretty much how he's been. I think like his whole career, bro. Like a lot of
Yeah,
times in
no,
the
I
beginning,
feel
you
you.
see him on the waiver wire, then you pick him up, then you don't know if you should start him or not, and then it's been like that for Debo's career. I mean, hell of a player, but fantasy wise, yeah, a little bit weird.
Yep.
What about the tight ends, man? What tight ends do you love?
Yeah,
this
tight
week?
ends continue rolling with TJ Hawkinson. He's leading all tight ends right now. He's got a good matchup against Kansas City, who are averaging 12.5 points to tight ends, which is really good for a tight end. So continue rolling with him. He didn't have the best week last week, but I'm not losing faith in him. I think he's an easy tight end pick right now if you don't have either Kelsey or Laporta right now, who's been playing out of his mind too. And then my second stardom, you're not gonna like this, Darren Waller. I think
damn,
we suck against tight ends really bad, and he's a really good threat. I think he'll have a few catches, maybe even one of their touchdowns. I think he'll have a good week against us.
Yeah, well, it's set up for him to have one. I mean, we can't guard tight ends at all. So, I mean, we'll see how he does. I mean, I don't hate it. If I had Darren Waller, I'm sure as hell starting him against my team.
No, yeah, absolutely.
The way we've seen. And who are you staying away from on the tight end?
Yeah, I think it's officially time to panic on Kyle Pitts. There's just I've tried giving him so much time, and they just don't get him involved, and it's just a disaster after disaster every week. If you can move on from him or find a suitable replacement, I'd do it. I'm officially in panic mode on Kyle Pitts, so stay away from him this week. And then George Kittle against the Niners, I simply just don't like the matchup. I think the Niners are going to rely more on the running game this game for the Cowboys. So those are my starting setups for this week, and I hope it helps you guys out. I hope you guys get some wins.
Yeah. Kittle's playing against who again?
Dallas.
Dallas. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. They said they don't use Waller. Don't waste your time. Listen, man, I would ride with it, man. If I had Darren Waller.
And Knox was barely being used this year too, and he gets really involved against us this week. So you never know.
You can't make it up, bro.
I'll take the track record on that one.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. What's it called? So now we got a Thursday night football game. All right, we got a Thursday night football game. I just want to quickly touch on. We talked about it earlier. It's the Bears and the Commanders. Against in Washington. This is a 6-point favor for the Commanders. They actually have the Commanders 6-point favorite. Your prediction on this game, because we have to do it. Who wins this game?
I'm gonna give it to the Commanders until the Bears show me any reason to get more faith in them. It just doesn't make sense to pick them right now, but give me the Commanders. You know what? I'll say it will be a little bit of entertaining game. Give me 24-17. Get a few scores in there.
Oh, okay. There we go. That's better than what we saw last year, man. Honestly, I think this is going to be an ugly game, bro. I'm going to get it. Obviously is. I got the Commanders to win this game, and I got them to win by a touchdown. Give me Commanders 17-10.
Right.
But so there you have it, man. Any last words before we wrap up the show here? I know the Marlins are playing right now. Shout out to the Miami Marlins that are playing their playoff game.
Shout out to the Marlins. They're gonna be my team this postseason. Even though you don't got faith in them, I'm gonna roll with them.
Hey, man. I've been doubting them all year, and look where they're at. So I'm gonna keep going.
That's true.
Man.
That's true.
I'm just gonna watch and doubt.
Hey, as a San Francisco Giants fan from our 3 championships, all you have to do is get in the playoffs.
That's it.
Like that's all it takes.
It's house money from there. Well, the Marlins, honestly, the 2 times that they've won the championship, they've made it in as the wild card, and they were road warriors all the way through, man. So you never know, man.
Exactly.
But yeah, so guys, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for supporting us as always. Hit that thumbs up button. We got a Mets fan. I'm sorry, my brother.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's a tough one. It's a tough one out there for Mets fans, Jacobs. Don't you agree?
Yeah, but I think being a Giants fan is worse right now. So
yeah, you are
right now. So
yeah, you're one of the most passionate baseball fans, man. I love it. Well, playoff baseball is here. Guys, thank you guys for tuning in. Hit that thumbs up button. Like I said, we'll catch you here next week. Hopefully the Dolphins get a big win against the Giants. Zell in the chat, good luck to your Giants, my brother. Hopefully it's a good game. May the better team win. Yeah. And we'll catch you guys next week. Go Marlins. Shout out to the Marlins. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't. All right. Later. Jacob, any last words?
No, man.
That's it. Go
Dolphins.
Dolphins.
Yep.